Today I come before you with a very, very, very powerful message. I'm going to keep it all connected and very directed. I've learned one thing. If it's not directed, it's not respected. I'm going to make it very efficient and sufficient for everyone to understand. Okay. Now, accountability is the topic that I will be discussing about with you. Why accountability? When I was a younger man, or when I was a child, I used to take things very personal, and I used to take things to heart. However, at an extent where it was very unhealthy. Not only was it unhealthy for me and to myself, it was unhealthy because I've witnessed my environment changing. I've witnessed the situations that was at hand. Whether if it was individuals deciding not to accept my cause, whether if it was individuals who brought the insight to me and said, listen, I believe you should reflect on this. I've had the opportunity to reflect on them very vital situations and to decide that I am going to take accountability. Why accountability? Accountability because I'm no longer going to live in a victim mentality. I'm no longer going to allow myself to succumb to someone else's authority or pleasure to drag me across the floor like a mop rag. I'm no longer going to put the power or the ability of someone else's mindset to determine how I'm going to live my life, or how I should feel, or how I should think in that situation. You're not going to be the one who's going to have the power to determine what I'm going to do and what I'm going to feel in my life. What does that mean? That means I now come into the realization that to take control of your own happiness is a vital key. It's a vital key. And with that being known consciously, I'm going to make a conscious decision to be accountable for everything that I've experienced in my life. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, the good. Every moment in my life. The good times, the unfortunate times. And let me say this. I would not acknowledge a mindset of saying that I'm going to be unapologetic. No. I'm going to accept the remorse for the decisions that I've made that wasn't so beneficial to my life, yet they assisted me in becoming stronger. Because how would I know what it's like to truly obtain joy if I have not experienced that trauma? Well, I've experienced that trauma in my life. I am remorseful, and I receive that accountability of being remorseful so that I can learn to know what humility is. So I can learn to know how sweet and how precious the attribute of humility is. So I can learn to accept an attitude of forgiveness. So I can learn to appreciate what it's like to say, you can say anything you please to say about me and my character, and it would not affect me. Why not? Because I am the determining factor in my life. You are a contributing factor in my life. And anything outside of the determining factor in my life, it has none effect on the decisions that I make. However, I am the sole determinator of the decisions that I decide to decide. With that being said, I am walking in full authority, in full capacity, in order to accept the decisioning process that Yahweh gifted me with. So when Yah allowed us to come into the knowledge, when He allowed us to come into the knowledge of good and evil, He admonished us to choose good, to choose life. And therefore, I'm making a conscious decision to choose eternal life and to choose every situation that's going to allow me to keep my energy, my vibration, my frequency in alignment with the source, in alignment with the Holy One of Israel, in alignment with Yahweh, in alignment with Yeshua HaMashiach. I'm going to accept the full truth and nothing but the truth. And I'm going to say this right here. If you have any issues with how I decide to live my life, it's your decision. I believe in Yeshua HaMashiach. I accept the true calendar according to the 364 calendar that's in direct opposition to what this system that's under the authority of the devil. Yet, should we say, for a better terminology, under the deception that the devil have under, yet Yah gave the devil that authority, so the devil really have no direct authority to make a decision on his own, yet it is Yahweh who decided. And so with Yahweh deciding to give the devil that ability to deceive the whole world, it's incumbent upon you to break out of that deception. And the only way to break out of that deception is by humbling yourself and repenting for all of the evil that you have committed in your life. And with that being said, I admonish you to choose life. Proverbs 18 verse 21, it says, life and death exist in the power of the tongue. And the only way you are capable to receiving total life is via the power of that tongue. And choosing life by giving the message through words. Words can cause your arise or your demise. So once again, receive, process, transmit, be accountable, be responsible. You are responsible once you are capable to responding with ability to others. That means no one else dictate your approach or your feedback. All they can do is give feedback, and you are in total control of how you respond to their feedback. Do it with class, do it with etiquette, do it with cordiality, do it with a conscious mind. Don't succumb to frustration, don't succumb to anxiety, don't succumb to inflammation. If you do experience it, let it burn. But don't respond based on that energy. Compose your mind and do it, as in give your feedback in a very, very healthy and strategic way. With that being said, Kadima Yahumila. I own my decisions because Yah placed me to be the king of my thing. Shalom Kadima Yahumila.